Good morning. I love that the conversation about food has already begun. It's my favorite thing to talk about. There are so many issues to care about. I grew up in New York City. I spent the first 18 years of my life there and walked past lots of people trying to sell me things, trying to protest, trying to raise awareness. And so I'm here this morning because of an issue that I really care about. And basically, I was at the farmer's market. My favorite place to be every week. I was traveling. And I wasn't expecting for this cause to come and find me, but it did. I was at a farmer's market. In Chicago, and I love, these are all my beautiful produce shots. And I guess I've been participating in farmers markets in Honolulu ever since watching movies like Food Inc., Fresh Ingredients, and participating in the Eat Local Challenge. I love locally grown food. I love the varieties that we have here. I love that when I go away, I have an opportunity to see new things at other markets as well. So when I was traveling in Chicago, I was really excited. There were some beautiful squashes, and there were some really amazing varieties of apples. There were lots of new food items for me to look at, and there was also a woman collecting fresh produce for the homeless. And I was thinking about it, and usually when we think about collecting food for the homeless, collecting food for the hungry, we think of canned, processed food. We don't think of the food like this, okay? And if you're anything like me, when I hear about a food drive, I'm looking in my pantry, what have I not eaten? What's kind of close to expiring? What can I give away? It's not your first choice for the stuff that you want to eat, okay? And in some ways, it's not really such a gift, that extra, jar of something that was sitting around. And so when I saw this woman collecting food, it struck a little bit of a chord. I'm like, oh, you can donate fresh food to the homeless? That's new. I just went about my shopping that day, and the next thing that popped into my view was a sign that said $2 for a head of cauliflower. And what I saw that day was the largest head of cauliflower I'd ever seen in my life. It was a head of cauliflower that I couldn't wrap my arms around. It was so big. And there was part of me that was like, $2 for every head of cauliflower? That's awesome. What a great deal. That's the cauliflower I want. I was only in Chicago for a week. I am only one woman. How the heck am I going to eat that head of cauliflower? Not being someone that wants to see food go to waste, and I'm sure all of you, when you go shopping at the farmer's market or at the supermarket, wherever you do your shopping, you only buy as much as you need. And you only buy as much as you need because of that miserable feeling at the pit of your stomach when at the end of the week you pull out the pull out the produce drawer and you see like all the wilty cabbage and all the carrots that are just a little not so crunchy anymore. You don't want to see that stuff. And so when we buy produce, we only buy what we need, okay? And so not being someone that wants to waste food, but being someone that wanted to take advantage of the good deal, I took that, I asked the farmer to quarter that head of lettuce. And I took 1/4 for myself, put it in my produce bag, and I took 3/4 and I brought it to the woman at the table. And after I gave it to the woman at the table and I was thinking about what it would feel like to have fresh food for once. If I was homeless and I was hungry, to be able to have access to more fresh food, not just canned produce and canned fruit. And there's nothing wrong with canned fruit and canned produce. All those things are great for different reasons. But what it would feel like to eat something fresh, eat something that was in season, eat something that was locally grown. So basically, I took that, I brought it to her, and then I took that idea home to Honolulu. In January of 2010, I started a produce donation program at the KCC Farmers Market. It's my farmers market. That's where I do all my shopping every week, and I made some signs with markers. I'm an elementary school teacher, I took out my markers, I took out my poster board, and I printed up a few signs on the computer. I bought a basket from Goodwill. This is it, okay? This is how I started. Basket from Goodwill, computer signs, a donation jar, 2 handmade signs. And now we collect over 1,000 pounds of fresh food for the homeless every month. And we did this by going to people and asking them to buy a little extra, just like I did, a little extra, and to take a little bit of what they were not going to use out of their grocery bags, because no one wants to see it go to waste. And we also asked the people, buy extra if they could afford it. These guys come out to the market every Saturday bringing pineapples and bananas. They want to see children in the shelters eating fruit. It is important for them. They can afford to buy extra food, and by buying that extra food, they are voting with their dollars for local availability of those foods into the future, okay? When we go to the farmer's market and we buy those bananas, we are making sure that our dollars are going into farmlands that are going to be able to keep providing these foods that we love to eat. Because no one wants, or maybe some people want it, but I want to be able to eat bananas that are local, living in Hawaii for the rest of my life. I don't want to have to eat bananas from thousands of miles away. I don't want to eat mangoes and pineapples and papayas from thousands of miles away. I want to eat locally grown food, and I want you to remember that you are voting with your dollars when you buy that food at the market. Okay. So here's a picture of what sort of a typical haul at the end of the market looks like. We have a list of over 70 volunteers now, and some of the things that people have donated have come from their home gardens. They have come from vendors who have off-grade produce to donate and who also want to contribute to the cause. So not just at the end of the market when there are things that people have not bought yet, but the vendors want to donate in addition to that. People that are home growers have brought, I loved seeing the picture of the ulu before, because we have had garbage bags of ulu donated on Saturdays. We've had boxes of tangerines. We've had all sorts of food, and we've been able to keep it out of the waste stream. So out of your trash from what you wouldn't have eaten by the end of the week, out of the trash from what the farmers would have thrown away or given to pigs had it not been coming to this program. The food that you see up there, a lot of that food is food that would have gone to waste had it not been harvested for this program. And so basically school groups have gotten involved. This is a tablecloth that UH Lab School students decorated. My signs got old at some point, and they were like, we can do that, we can do better. Let me help you, let us help you. And then 4th graders at Punahou, they helped to raise money for these signs. So we had the professional signs now. And it's been amazing to watch the community come and gather around the effort. People have donated a canopy, they've donated their time, they've donated resources for our website. It's just been amazing. And it really just started with 2 pieces of cardboard. And so here's a picture of one of our vendors. And so what I want to leave you with, the thought today, is it's about time we started using our local resources more wisely. It's about time we started to think of food security as more than just how many cans are in an emergency food pantry. Let's make sure that the foods that we want to eat for the rest of our lives in Hawaii continue to be grown here by growing our own and sharing what we can with our neighbors, with our families. It's about time we started making a real gift, okay? Giving real food is a real gift that makes a real difference. Thank you so much.